Look into my eyes. When you see me on a show, when you see these fans, you know you've got the best in the damn world.
This is the Wrestling Matters podcast where we stand up for professional wrestling.
Here we fucking go!
Well, enough is enough, and it's time for a change!
Professional wrestling! This is it! This is us standing up! Yes! 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 Yes!
That's 13-14!
Make it till death!
Dina, I am the best in the world.
Cause that's the bottom line. Cause Stone Cold Simpson.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to this WCPW podcast. That's right, it's a WCPW podcast. It is not loaded. It is their big show built to destroy review. My name is Anthony Walker. On behalf of the Wrestling Matters podcast, hope you guys are well. Hope you guys have enjoyed the podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed the wrestling so far this week. Now, as I'm recording this right now, I've just finished watching WCPW, the feature-length show, which was on for 2.5 hours, with a little bit of technical issues, but I won't go into that. And it had 6 matches. And you know what? I'm going to go through them matches right now. It kicked off with Ligero and Martin Kirby, and Martin Kirby wears a dress. Great match between the two. Bit of comedy, bit of entertainment in there as well, but these two could have a good match. They've wrestled each other on many occasions, and Ligero won the match. Manages to get the win, thanks to a mistake from Martin Kirby. Martin Kirby came on very close on a couple of occasions to get the victory. Ligero summing up what he thought of Martin Kirby at the start. Ligero even came close. Like I said, Martin Kirby came close to unmasking Ligero. Kirby is punishing Ligero to the limit, or pushing him to the limit, and he did. You got to give him credit for it. But one mistake can cost you in a match. Trust me, I know. I've been in the ring, and it cost Kirby, and he now has to wear a dress. Pierre slaps the GM backstage in an interview, and Gabriel Kidd went one-on-one with Prince Ameen. Now, the winner of this would become the loser. The winner of this, the loser would become that servant, is what I meant to say. And Prince Ameen won the match. The dirty tactics, and it's not the first time I've seen him do this. I've seen him in person do this as well. He's been up here in Middlesbrough competing for EPW. I've met him a few times, been on the receiving end of some of his beatdowns, and if I could ever get back into this stuff, man, I mean, I'd love to, but, I'm a firm believer in 50-50. I would have loved to have wrestled this match, but unfortunately that never got happened. And he took control of Kidd. He used every dirty tactic, and then he uses a bag to distract the referee, brings the bag in, looks to use it, distracts the referee's getting rid of it, and then the next minute, he kicks Gabriel Kidd where it hurts, and Gabriel Kidd is now the servant of Prince Ameen. No holds barred match. Hard-hitting stuff between Joe Coffey and Primate. These two beat the living tar out of one another. These two wrestled in the crowd. Primate brings the table and then spears it, quite frankly, because Joe moved out the way as he was going to spear Joe. These men fought in the crowd. 2 security guys got in the way while in the crowd. Coffey ends up winning by Boston Crab, even though it did look like he was going to go for a cradle pile driver move. But I think he went for a pile driver and switched it into a Boston Crab and got the victory. Is this feud over? Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen next? But I'll tell you this, it was good stuff, let me tell you. Noam and Jay Lethal were backstage in an intense, good, built-up promo to their Ring of Honor World Championship match that they were going to have. And that was the next match, and these two wrestled, beat the living tar out of one another, and it was a good old-fashioned Ring of Honor wrestling match. A couple of points that I liked in the match was a Randy Savage into a Ric Flair combo, because Lethal did the Randy Savage elbow, and as he hooked the leg and everything, got the 2 count, he went back up and spun it right into a figure 4 leg lock, is what it was. So that's a Randy Savage Ric Flair combo. These two beat the hell out of each other. Lethal hits a lethal injection on the floor. Even Dark counted the lethal injection into the Champagne Super knee bar. Both men showing great wrestling skills. Da showing great mat technical wrestling. And it was hard-hitting stuff as well. It was a good old-fashioned Ring of Honor wrestling match in a WCPW promotion. And like I said, Da counters the lethal injection, doesn't get the win, and then Lethal manages to hit the lethal injection to get the win and retain his Ring of Honor World Championship. And both men showed respect to each other at the end of the match. This was just a great, good old-fashioned Ring of Honor wrestling match in a good old-fashioned promotion like WCPW. Joseph Connors and Joe Hendry versus the Prospect. Now, these two couldn't coexist, which led to a mistake by Connors and Prospect getting a very known victory, to be honest with you. But I swear this angle between Joseph Connors and Joe Hendry, it's leading to a match between the two, because these two are not going to last as a tag team. I'm sorry, it's not going to happen, okay? It's not going to happen. These two are not going to last as a tag team. I'm sorry. Also, that leads... And Connors was impressive in that match, actually, before I go on to the main event. Connors was actually impressive in the match. But, you know, tag team matches, it's 50-50. It works both ways, not one way. And these two can't coexist. And it's going to happen before long, where it's going to end up being Joseph Connors and Joe Hendry one-on-one in a match. You can see it coming. It's just a case of when. WCPW title match, Rampage Brown. Probably the most hard-hitting fight I've ever seen between the two men. These two big behemoths were out with each other, and it was just amazing. It really was. Hard-hitting, good old-fashioned, physical wrestling match. Hard-hitting stuff. Rampage taking control of the match. The monster came out of Damo thanks to Rampage hitting him a few times. It was back and forth stuff, hard-hitting wrestling, and then it all came down to Adam Blumpier wanting Rampage to hit the power driver. Rampage refused. Blumpier gets in his face, slaps him just like he did to the GM, but unlike the GM, Rampage clotheslined him. And then, once all that was sorted out, Damo hits a low blow, pile drives Rampage, gets the victory in the match, and then becomes the WCPW champion, and then pile drives the ref. Damo then hits Jack and teams up and joins with Adam Blumpier. The GM wasn't very pleased, comes in, says he's not the champion, but Damo says, you can have your belt back, and hits him with it. Controversial ending, and I'm looking forward to seeing WCPW loaded next week. What's going to go down? Is Damo the champion? He left there with the belt, and he won the match, despite all the dirty tactics. But what will happen next week? Who knows? We'll have to wait and see and find out. All in all, for a first feature-length show, I enjoyed it. I'm very much looking forward to, I believe it's episode 5 now of Loaded. What's going to happen next? Will Ospreay is going to come in at the end of July, I think it is, or the end of August. It's somewhere around about then. And it seems that Joe Hendry is going to wrestle him, because it seems they're building up to a Joe Hendry-Will Ospreay match, because there was a video that played after the show of Joe, and I would imagine it'd be on What Culture Wrestling's YouTube channel, of Joe Hendry singing a song in a music video about Will Ospreay. So you're going to have to wait and see on that one. But it seems they're building to a Will Ospreay-Joe Hendry match at some point. All in all, very good match, very good matches, very good show. I enjoyed it, and I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Good, solid 2.5 hour show. Good feature length, solid 2.5 hour show, and I loved it. And like I said, I can't wait for WCPW Loaded episode 5. And with that being said, guys, hope you guys have enjoyed this WCPW podcast. Review podcast, the Built to Destroy, very first feature-length show anyway. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you listen to this on YouTube, like, share, and if you're new around there at the Wrestling Madness channel, please subscribe. It'll be greatly appreciated. And also, you can download this episode for free on SoundCloud at soundcloud.com/wrestling_matters_podcast. And until then, guys, until next time, join me later this week for the CWC review. I will be doing that later this week. And until then, I'm Anthony Walker. Wrestling matters as it should be. Sports entertainment sucks. See you next time, guys. Peace.
Well, enough is enough, and it's time for a change.
Professional wrestling! This is it! This is us standing up!
Yes! 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 Yes!
That's 13-14!
Cena, I am the best in the world.
Cause that's the bottom line. Cause Stone Cold said so.